point is, look at how he looked at it. This was the state of the pious predecessors. They were described by the character of fasting. It is reported that Rasulullah ﷺ once divorced his wife Hafsa. And Allah Azza wa Jal sends down to him, and this is reported by Bukhari, He sends down to him the angel Jibreel, saying, Jibreel was saying to him that Allah orders you to return her. Allah orders you to return her because she is a sawwamah qawwamah. Why? Because she is someone who fasts a lot, prays a lot at night. And Allah Azza wa Jal sends Jibreel to tell Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about this. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam kept her, and he did not release her. This was their description on how they were. My dear brothers, fasting had a very great position in their lives. Ramadan had a great position in their lives because they realized what it's all about. They realized so many great virtues about Ramadan, which I have only mentioned a little bit of the many that have been reported about it, either directly through the hadiths or that which is derived from the understanding of text generally. I mean, it's not directly mentioned, but it's derived. You can understand it. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, all this is an introduction to the topic. We can't get into the topic of brotherhood and mercy unless we talk about the month of Ramadan from its virtues, what it's all about, this beautiful month. Why is it that Allah Azza wa Jal ordered us to fast? Why is it that Allah Azza wa Jal said, "As-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bihi"? Fasting is for me, and I am the one who will reward for it. Meaning it's upon me to reward for it. He did not specify the reward of it. He did not specify exactly how much ajr are you getting. He said, "As-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bihi." Fasting is for me, and it's upon me, and I will reward for it. Why is it that Allah Azza wa Jal commanded us to do this great, great obligation? Is it simply for us to be starving and to be thirsty and to be weak? Or is it really to train the body so that we can become, of those who break the routine? What is it? The answer is found in the Quran, where Allah Azza wa Jal, He says to us, "Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun." Oh, you to believe, fasting has been prescribed for you as it has been prescribed to the people before you. Meaning it's a must, just like it was on the people before you, it's a must upon you. Why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you can gain taqwa, piety. Taqwa, my dear brothers, is to be conscious of Allah Azza wa Jal, to be mindful of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's to be of those who protect themselves from the anger of Allah Azza wa Jal, from the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's to be of those who constantly remember Allah Azza wa Jal by doing what He commanded and leaving what He has prohibited, and by preparing for the day of resurrection. Now the question that would rise, why is it that Siyam will make you achieve taqwa? Why is it that Siyam, fasting, will make you achieve taqwa if you've done it right, in the correct way? The answer is, in this obligation, or firstly, because this is a command of Allah Azza wa Jal. And everything that Allah Azza wa Jal commands you to do, by you fulfilling it, you are coming closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. And your iman is increasing. Your iman, your belief, is increasing. Iman increases and decreases. It increases with acts of goodness and righteousness and obedience, and it decreases, it goes down, your iman goes lower and weaker with acts of disobedience, and by you not doing the obligations, and by not being consistent with it and increasing from the options. Now, firstly, Siyam will increase your taqwa because it's a command, and by you doing so, you are strengthening your iman. Secondly, because in this act of worship, you are training yourself to leave what is normally halal, to leave what is normally allowed, food and drink, and intercourse with the spouses. These three things are normally halal. By you leaving what is normally halal, you have trained yourself to be of those who are capable of leaving what is haram. And this is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he tells us that من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. Whoever does not leave speaking of falsehood and acting falsehood, then Allah Azza wa Jal does not need him to go and leave his food and drink. Why? Because he's not understood this person, what's the purpose behind fasting. So by fasting, my dear brother and sister in Islam, you have trained yourself and proved it to yourself that you are capable of doing things. When you are capable of leaving what is normally halal, you are definitely capable of leaving what is haram. And siyam is what it does to you. It proves it. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, the question that I would like to raise now, what taqwa, what piety has the person who broke his fasting, and do not consider me of those who want to bash you. I love you and I want to speak to you what I really feel that's important. What taqwa, what piety has the person gained when he's left all day food and drink, but he still finds himself swearing? What piety has he gained? He left what is normally halal, but he did not leave what is always haram. Speaking of falsehood and doing of falsehood. What piety, what taqwa has the person gained when he is fasting from the food and drink, yet subhanAllah his eyes are not fasting from the haram? What taqwa has the person gained when he refrained from eating and drinking the halal, but he found it very easy to consume the haram wealth? What taqwa did he gain? What taqwa did this person gain who broke his fast after a long day on a cigarette? What taqwa? He's proved it to himself all day that he is capable of leaving food and drink and cigarettes. How did this taqwa affect him when he is still weak to a stick? And I say this with a feeling of mercy towards my brothers and with a feeling of love to them. This is why I'm saying this. What feeling, what taqwa, what piety has the person gained when he refrains all day from food and drink, but he does not pray? He does not pray altogether, or probably he doesn't pray on time. We need to reflect and understand, my dear brothers, the purposes behind fasting, and that is to gain them. From the great fruits of Ramadan, from the great blessings of Ramadan, and wallahi al-azim, it has this effect that could be almost described as magic. And I mean by this the halal allowed, change. I don't mean by this spell and all this is haram, but could be almost described as magic. Overnight is the fruits of fasting. Overnight, you find a mosque packed out with people to do the tarawih. Almost a magical effect, except that it's not a magical effect, it is the hearts changing overnight, wanting to make a move towards Allah Azza wa Jalla. From the fruits of fasting is that people unite, people get together, people stand together, people worship Allah Azza wa Jalla together. This is from the great things that Ramadan carries from gifts and blessings. Yes, Ramadan comes with gifts and blessings, and it comes with gifts, and one of them is this beautiful, beautiful concept of unity for the Muslims. Where the Muslims overnight, and you watch what I'm saying, and you've probably seen it before me. You watch the night just before Ramadan, either night of Ramadan, you come to a mosque or a prayer hall, and it's as if it's Friday. It's as if it's Friday. people are all lined up and ready to pray, not only the obligations, but to pray after the obligations, whatever Allah Azza wa Jalla has decreed for the Imam to pray. This is a sign, my dear brother, and my dear sisters in Islam, this is a sign that if we are truthful and we really want to come closer to Allah, that we can achieve quick results. It's a sign. Think about it to yourself, my brothers and sisters in Islam. Think about it. How could such a change happen if it's not to be taken as a sign? This is a sign that we can be of those who can establish brotherhood inside Ramadan and outside Ramadan. From the great lessons, from the great fruits that Ramadan carries, is that it tends to prove to you, my dear brother and sister in Islam, it proves to you that you can do it. It proves to you that you can do it. When I say that you get together on the first night, it proves that you can get together on every single night and throughout the year to be of those who stand in straight lines. And this is something that we need to reflect on and ponder on. Ramadan, my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, is the month in which it comes as a stop station for all of us. A stop station. You've been on those long journeys by car and you find that resting place where, and a lot of the times you find a big board or big billboard that's got stop, revive and survive. Ramadan is your stop, revive and survive. It's that stopping station for the individual to come closer to his Lord, and for the community collectively, for the Muslims collectively altogether. It's a stop, revive and survive station that we all need to take our share from it. Because if in Ramadan you do not benefit, and in Ramadan you do not change, then when will we change? If in Ramadan we're not going to be of those who have taqwa, then when is it going to happen? I'm not saying it to you to despair, but the question is really, if we're not going to be of those who have a good change in Ramadan, then when is it that this is going to happen to us? When would this happen? And this is why one of the ulama, he said, if you're not forgiven in Ramadan, then when will you be forgiven? When will you be forgiven if you're not forgiven in Ramadan? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he got up onto the minbar once, and every step he took, he was saying, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. Companions asked him later on, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, from the things that happened is that Jibreel made a dua, and he was saying Ameen to it. And one of the du'as that Jibreel was making is that may he be humiliated, the one who Ramadan enters and leaves and his sins have not been forgiven. Let it be humiliated. رَغِمَ أَنْفُهُ, and his nose, let it be rubbed. Let it be humiliated. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ameen. And this is an indication, brothers, that if we're not going to take advantage of it then when will we take advantage of it? Individually and collectively. Ramadan, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, is the month of brotherhood. It is the month of brotherhood. From the signs that it's the month of brotherhood is that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he gave us the command collectively. He gave us the command collectively as Muslims. He said, صُومُوا لِرُؤْيَتِهِ وَأَفْطِرُوا لِرُؤْيَتِهِ. Fast the month of Ramadan when you see the crescent, when you see it. And break it, meaning have the Eid when you see it. And he said it collectively, صُومُوا, indicating to the community, to the Muslims, to the brothers, collectively.